All right, we are going to be live here in a second. Let's wait till somebody gets in here because I didn't schedule ahead of time. So if you're catching the replay of this, just give me 2 seconds. Fast forward a little bit. Let me just get all set up here. What's going on? I'm just going to start in 1 second. I just want to let some people get in because I didn't give much notice. So I'm going to start in about a minute. I'm just getting all my screens all set up and all that stuff. Presents, share. All right, this one, share screen. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Rest day. It is rest day. Big week. I'm heading to the Grand Canyon this week, so we're going to talk about that. It's not a taper. I'm definitely not tapering into the Grand Canyon, but because I got something big coming up, throat, sniffly, you know how that goes. Whenever there's something on the horizon, right? The body's like, oh yeah, you're going to get your first cold that you've had, and you haven't had a cold, you haven't been sick for 6 months, but this week. But no, we had a really, really good week last week. A lot of new milestones, and definitely going to talk prep into the Grand Canyon this week. And I will make a full gear video and things like that and logistics of exactly how it's going to go on. But the next time we will speak, I will have done rim to rim to rim. So I know I've been mentioning it and foreshadowing it, but I want to tell you exactly how it came to fruition because it kind of happened just randomly. What's up, Brian? Thanks. Yeah, if you are joining here live on the live stream, please hop in the chat. If you have any questions, please ask them. I love when people ask questions. Last week was only 20 minutes. Everyone was a little silent in the chat. So once I have everything I have to say, but definitely say what's up. And if you listen to this on the replay on Spotify or Apple, wherever you listen, every Monday night around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I will hop on there. Joanne, how we doing? Happy Monday is right. So last week was not, I think this is the first time I've actually said this in a while. It was not my biggest volume week ever, but there were a couple of awesome things that did happen. And we'll run through the week quickly, and then down here, we'll look at the week leading into rim to rim to rim. But last week, CTL up to 79, which is incredible for all of you people that are on Training Peaks, or if you're on Strava, this is kind of like your fitness score. If we go back to early January, we can see I was down in the 60s, down into 59, 61, and that's climbed at a pretty good rate. If we look at my home dashboard, we can kind of see my fitness over here growing nice and steady over time, a little bit of ups, a little bit of downs. Over here to the right, you can kind of see the last 28 days of my fitness score climbing, probably not as fast as some people can climb their score, but I feel like the higher your fitness gets, the higher your CTL gets, the harder it is because it is a trailing average of all of your stress scores. So the higher it goes, the slower it is to grow. But we got 75 miles last week, 17 hours. 17 hours is definitely probably the most hours I've done here. 11 hours here, 15:54 a couple weeks ago, 16:24. So yeah, far as time wise, we definitely had the biggest time week we've had. 17 hours, 6 minutes, 75 miles. But here's the thing I really want to focus on. And we know, if you've been listening now for a couple of weeks, you guys know how focused I've been on vert. And I've just because of my job and things like that, I haven't been able to really get vert during the week on actual trails. So they've been on the tread. But this week with springtime weather coming in, I was able to get outside every single day this week. So this 10,358 feet was not only my biggest vert in this block, it was my second biggest week of vert ever, with the exception of my 100K, which had 12,000 feet in it alone. But the fact that I got outside, so this was 10,000 up and 10,000 down, definitely feeling the ups and downs. And I'm not saying that the treadmill's fake vert or whatnot, but I definitely don't get that downhill. My treadmill does not do downhill. So when I'm climbing on the treadmill, I'm only getting up. And for anybody that's raced ultras or raced long distances, you know that the downhills can be just as treacherous on the body as the uphills with that eccentric movement in the quads. So the fact that I was able to get outside for 10,000 worth of descent was a really, really big week. And frankly, I'm feeling it right now. I saw the North Rim in a couple photos. Snow was very consolidated. Yeah. So there's definitely going to be some micro spikes going for the trip. And we'll talk about the Grand Canyon in just a few minutes, because I know a couple of people actually that have done it in the last 3 weeks. I think most famously, Jesse Isler just did it with a bunch of his friends. So I'll tell you what I've learned from him. Chad's in the chat. What's up, Chad? Yeah, 17 hours, man. Well, Friday was a little bit longer, but we could talk about Friday. But yeah, super happy with 17 hours. My big weeks, because I'm not as fast as you, Chad, my bigger weeks have been up there in that 15, 16 hours of running. And yeah, that seems to be something that I'm pretty comfortable with. Monday, we had a nice, easy rest day, as we always do on Monday. On these hilly runs, so if I open up the hilly run, what coach is looking for, he's looking for 500 to 1,000 feet per hour. So at 2 hours here, I got about 1,200 feet. So that's right around the lower end. And these were done at work. So you're like, Brad, how the hell are you a school teacher and you're getting out for 2 hours at work? Well, with the way my schedule works, I have prep periods, and on every other day of the week, my prep period goes into my lunch. So it kind of gives me like an extended lunch, if you will. It doesn't happen every day. It happens every other day. So that's how I was able to do that on Tuesday and Thursday. Pretty much the same exact run, 12 miles and 12 miles with the same on this day. I got 13:42, so bumped it a little bit more. On Wednesday, this I did after work. I got 10 miles and I got to take a little bit different route out of school. So I got almost 2,000. So that was closer to that 1,000 feet per mile. And then on Friday, which was my birthday, me and the wife went out. My wife is training for the Canyons 50K. And this is a really, really big run for her. And she crushed, man. Like, you know, she'll say that like she made me go slower and stuff. I maybe would have went a half hour faster, but we went out at 2:45. We were going to do it on Saturday, but here in the Northeast, we got like 3 inches of rain. Chad went out and played in the rain. We had about 3 inches of rain. So we called the in-laws. I pulled the birthday card. I said to my mother-in-law, hey, can you come grab the kids for me after school so Tara and I can go run for a couple hours? So we started at 2:45 and we went out for 5 hours. And we got 22 miles in with 4,200 feet. So for her, that's a long training run for her time wise. She's done 22 milers. She's gone up. She's done the marathon a few times. She has a 50K under her belt. And she's done some tough half marathons as well. She did the Breakneck upstate. So she's really, really fit. She's a regional competitor in CrossFit back in the day, 3-time national champion lacrosse player. So she's fit. And, yeah, we had just a great run together. It was like the perfect little birthday celebration. Went out, we averaged 13:54 pace. Like I said, without her, maybe I would average 13, but I would much rather have her with me. 124 heart rate, very, very nice. I did push some of the climbs and wait for her. So, you know, this 161, if we analyze the effort, we'll see. There was a bunch of times where I was, you know, pushing the pace. And then, like I said, I would just wait for her at the top. We can see these heart rate efforts here, you know, but this is a nice, awesome run. It was just so nice. So nice to spend time with the wife and just get out and really see her fitness. She's never done this vert before. I think Breakneck has like 3,000 feet. And then she did Big Brad's Ultra just a coincidence, Big Brad's Ultra 50K in Maine. And I think that had just about 4,000 feet. So 42:68 was a really, really big run for her. And that was my Friday long run, which was incredible because that led me into a weekend where I only had a 9-miler and a 10-miler. And for me right now at this stage in the game, only having 19 hours on the weekend, is incredible. So these were listed as easy runs. So I got all my hilly runs done during the week. This easy run was 9 miles, really, really flat around me on the trail, 89. Like when I do all this vert stuff, quote unquote vert stuff, I had to drive up to the North Shore about 40 minutes for me, 35, 40 minutes to the North Shore. I live on the South Shore of Long Island. So this at 9:30 pace, very, very manageable intensity. Got me 9 miles in an hour and 26 minutes. But like I said, under 100 feet, which was a nice little recovery, especially coming off the Friday night. By Saturday, I was definitely feeling, the downhills on the quads, which is good. That's kind of the training that I want. Yeah, Joanne, Cold Spring Harbor it's my new best friend. It's and we could see, like, if we look at this, I know you're familiar with the area. So if we look at the map, this is where I teach. I teach right here at Syosset High School. So you can see I come right out my front door, boom, and I'm literally in Stillwell. I'm a quarter mile to the trails, and I hop in the trails, and this is all this is a there and back is a 10K. So if I rock this whole route down to Trailview and then back, that's a 10K. And I was able to do that twice for the 12-mile run. And yeah, you could see this elapsed time. So this was that first period that I had off. And then I went back and I taught for all of this blank time. And then after I was done teaching another class, changed the clothes again and got right out the door. And like I said, so you can see it was what's the elapsed time on this? The elapsed time was probably like, it's a whole day. I mean, it says I started at 10 a.m. I was done at like 2. So yeah, this was a 4-hour block, but I only ran for 2 hours of it. Let's see what it says. If he retired last year, we're good buddies. I'm right up there with the math teachers. I've been there for 15 years. So after that Saturday, nice and easy run, we got out. And Sunday, I really wanted to get to 10,000 feet. So I got just about 1,500 feet, 10 miles, really, really low pace, 118, heart rate, 11-minute pace. This is actually up in Sunken Meadow State Park. So it's a little bit different, but we have like this one climb. It's called Cardiac. So you can see, if you look, this is the struggles of living on Long Island. If you want to get some vert, pretty much up, then down, then up, then down. And I just do this loop all day long. And I think this is about 100 feet per climb. Let's see if it tells me that. Oh, no, I got to put feet on here. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is like 120, maybe 120, 150 feet per climb. And yeah, this is actually where the shore to shore is. There's a lot of really, really great races up out of this state park. It's a really, really nice place to be. It's right on the Long Island Sound. So you can see here's the Long Island Sound. I live down here, and then that's straight north, or I go up here to Cold Spring Harbor. That's kind of where I'm at. So let me see if there's any questions here. Todd, what's up, man? Yeah. Oh, I definitely know John. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, yes, I do. Let's talk about rim to rim nutrition and gear. Definitely going to be talking rim to rim nutrition and gear. With that said, let's go right into what this week looks like going into rim to rim, because God knows there's a piece of me that wanted to taper into this and treat this as like a race almost. I wanted to go in nice and fresh. Coach is like, nah, dude. This is a long training day for me. And the logistics of this are going to be effing crazy, but we're going to get it done. And right now, the weather is looking perfect. We'll talk about the weather. Tomorrow, I'm heading out for 14 miles and right around that 500 to 1,000 feet per hour. I have to be honest with you, I'm probably going to stay closer to 500 feet per hour. And which for 14 miles, that'll probably take me a little over 2 hours. So you figure I'll get about 1,200 feet tomorrow for that. And then Wednesday, we're going to go out for 10 miles and I'm going to do that nice and easy, flat, probably that same route that I did last Saturday. That'll get me about 85 to 90 feet. Thursday is when the magic begins. I am off from work on Thursday, Friday. That's kind of how the logistics of this trip happened. And here's really how it happened. About a year ago, I sent a DM to a guy, Taylor Spike. And Taylor Spike is a well-known ultra runner out of the Pacific Northwest, out of Oregon. And he appeared on the Cameron Haynes podcast. And he was talking a lot about sobriety, and he was talking a lot about ultra running. And this, I just got vibes from the dude that like he was like one of my people. We're about the same age. I think he's 2 years older than me. And I just sent him a DM like, hey man, loved you on the podcast. Thanks a lot. And that simple DM has led to, I got to say, he's probably one of my best friends, and we've never met in person. But when I told him that I signed up for canyons, he's always been really supportive. And he's like, before you do canyons, we should come out and do rim to rim to rim as a training run beforehand. Like, it's a good training block. And I was like, yeah, this guy Taylor Spike just asked me, some schlep, if I want to go do rim to rim to rim with him. So of course, in the DMs, I was like, yeah, man, that's great. Like, I would love to do that. I'd be honored to do that. Didn't take it seriously at all because of who he was and who I was. This guy has a resume that's like, I can't even look at without getting the chills. Well, a couple months later, he's like, so I'm ready to book flights. What, you ready to do this? Let's get this logistically going. And I said to my wife, like, holy shit, I think I'm going to go run rim to rim to rim with Taylor Spike. And she knew how much I respected him. And he's been a guy that I've leaned on through my sobriety. He's been a guy I leaned on through Grindstone, through my ultra training, just always just been a very, very good advocate for me, not only in ultra, but just in life in general. We have a lot of things in common. We've both dealt with the same struggles. And like, I was like, I can't believe this is going to happen. And sure enough, we put it together with him and a bunch of dudes from Recovery Strong. They have an awesome Instagram as well. You see me wearing their hoodie from time to time. Just a group of guys that are advocating for sobriety through outdoor adventure and fitness and health and just being a good dad and things like that. And like, those are my freaking people. So this group grew to, I think like we got like 7 or 8 dudes that are going to be doing this. And like, I'm so nervous because I've never put myself out there with a new group of like quote friends. Like it's been this weird transition in my sobriety of like, I didn't lose friends, right? But I definitely stopped a lot of the social things that I was doing. Like the people that I was hanging out with, that definitely slowed down. So I've been in this like weird purgatory of like, I think Alex Hormozy called it like the lonely stage, where like the people that were in my life are still there, but they're not like, I'm not emotionally there with them right now. But my resume isn't big enough to like have a group of people or be at the table that I see myself being at. So this is like that first time that I'm going to bridge that gap between my old drinking buddies and my old stay out late and get fucked up. And like, which that was me. Like, there's nothing against those people, but I'm just trying to do something different. So like, this is the first time I'm trying to bridge that gap between a bunch of active, ultra running, sober, like people that I'm trying to align with. And like that alone is making me nervous, let alone the effort, let alone like what we're actually going to be doing. I'm more nervous about like, don't make an idiot out of yourself. Like I used to drink so I could socially get along with people. Like that was how I overcame my general anxiety disorder. So now it's like, I don't have that, and it's nerve wracking, but here's the logistics of this. I am flying out of New York at 6:00 in the morning on Thursday morning. I land in Salt Lake and I'm getting picked up by Taylor and his dad, a legend in his own right. And then we are going to drive to the South Rim because the North Rim is closed. So logistically, didn't make much sense, but he's coming down from Oregon. So he's going to scoop me. I could have flown into Phoenix and gone up, but I didn't. Like the Recovery Strong guys, they're out of Salt Lake. So we're all kind of like meeting there. And then we're going to take a bit of a road trip, maybe do a podcast in the car or something like that. But we're going to get to the South Rim on Thursday afternoon. I land in Salt Lake noon their time. And then we're going to head down to the South Rim. And we're going to do whatever we're going to do and get ready for a very, very early morning start, definitely before dark. I don't know if that's 3, 4, 5. They were just talking about it in the group chat, but I don't know which one it is. I just know it's going to be early, and I know I'm going to be there for it. It's looking right now like the South Rim We're going to start in like maybe the high 30s, low 40s, which is totally fine for me. That's kind of what I've been used to weather wise. So I'm happy with that. What that's going to look like gear wise, because Todd asked gear wise. Right now I'm going to be wearing probably a short sleeve, tight compression base layer, which is kind of like just always there. And then on top, I have like a looser, lightweight white, not compression, but like tech kind of dry wick shirt, which is long sleeve. And I'm one of those people that I like long sleeves. I don't like really applying sunscreen, but this will be able to keep me cool. It will protect me from the sun, and I can strip that down. Once we get down into the valley, right now it's looking at Phantom Ranch. Like it could get up even into the 80s, super windy down there, but could get up into the 80s. And then I'll just be wearing just compression shorts, regular shorts. I'm not a pants guy. Regular old socks. I'll be wearing the Challengers. I will have my 12-liter Advanced Skin 12-liter on me. I'm going to carry 2 liters of water, 500 milliliter flasks. And like I said, I'm going to make a detailed video of all this, showing you everything. I'll have my trekking poles. I will have like kind of my Patagonia jacket that I made a video about. That would be kind of like my windbreaker, because as we do come up to the North Rim, there is snow on the North Rim. I think Jeff Browning did it 2 weeks ago and looked like there was like 2 or 3 feet on the ground. Since then, they've had like warmer days and then a little bit of snow. Jesse Itzler and the guys just did it. And from what it looked like, the parking lots and stuff, all the streets were like clear and it looked like there was some snow. But from what they were saying is like the last 2 to 3 miles up into the North Rim does have a little bit of snow. So we'll have some micro spikes and things like that we can use if we really, really need to, if the trail hasn't kind of worked its way through from all the people doing it. And hopefully be in 15 on the low end, maybe 14 on the low end, up to 20 on the high end, and then spend the night there in the parking lot, or get a motel or something cheap to the right along the South Rim there. And then on Saturday morning, I'm hopping a ride down to Phoenix, and then I'll be in Phoenix for the whole day. Maybe hopefully catch up with like Chris Morrison. I know some other guys down in Phoenix. I lived there for a couple of years, so I have a couple of friends there. Do some active recovery. We can see Coach has scheduled active recovery on Saturday. So probably hike Camelback, which was one of my like my favorite places. There we go. So do some active recovery there. And then Sunday, so I fly the red eye out of there 9:30 p.m. and then I get home I land at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I got to shoot home, try and beat my kids awake for the Easter Bunny. And then we got church and Easter brunch on Sunday. I got a 5-mile run. So that should wrap up about 85 miles for the week and probably about 15,000 feet. The rim has, depending on which route you take, we're taking the Kaibab. We're staying away from the Bright Angel Trail. So Bright Angel on the South Rim is longer, but less steep. And then South Kaibab, or Kaibab, or however you say it, I'm going to go with Kaibab. Shorter, but steeper. So we're going to take that. North Kaibab is pretty much our only route back up to the north. And then we're going to do that back. Should come to, I've seen anything from 44 up to 48, 50 miles, depending on how your GPS works when you're down along the river. And then roughly 10 to 11,000 feet of up, and then the same on the way down. So with that 10 or 11,000, and then whatever I get during the week, and then with roughly 50 miles and another 35 throughout the week, that'll get me to 85 miles. And I guess the goal is that it's just a long training day. Like I definitely know that I'm going to be a little beat up from it, but I'm really going to learn, all the things I need to carry for canyons. It really is. It's a training day for canyons. I want to know how much or how heavy it is to have that much water on me. As far as food and nutrition, I've made a video on this channel very, very recently talking exactly what my nutrition plan is. It is has not changed. 320 calories an hour, 65 grams of carbs split between awesome sauce and honey stinger waffles. That will not change. That will be done every 30 minutes on the 30 minutes unless something bad happens. But I've gone now 5-6 hours where it doesn't even affect my stomach at all. So I'm not really too worried about that in any way, shape, or form. And then things kind of not died down, I guess, but we have 2 more weeks before taper after that. So he coached at 85. He does have posted after the Grand Canyon a 70. And then he has peak week. This would be the biggest week that I have. So I don't know where he's going to go. I know we talked about it last week. Take a vote where he's going to go. I really think he's waiting to see how the Grand Canyon. I think if we smoke the Grand Canyon and 85 is doable, and then I bounce back well into the 70, I think he might push 90, 95. We've talked about that like magical 100 number, but to be honest, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to me. I don't need to hit 100-mile week to feel validated in my training. I don't need to hit a 100-mile week for really anything. I just, whatever I got to do, I'll do it. And if I top out at 85 miles, I will be just as confident going into canyons than if I didn't like hit 100, if that makes any sense. And to be honest, the thing that I'm most proud about, and when we recap all of this whole training block, we'll see that since November 20th, when I brought my coach on, I've missed 2 miles that he has programmed for me. Only 2 miles since then. I've run over 800 miles since bringing him on. And those 2 miles that I missed were the week of the marathon with JJ, where coach was like, he scheduled something for Sunday and scheduled like 6. And by the time I landed, got home, he's like, dude, just go out and get whatever you can. Don't get sick. Like traveling, like I don't want you sick for next week. And I ended up getting 4 miles that day on Sunday when I got back after the marathon. Those are the only 2 miles that I've missed. And those are the things that are way more important to me than hitting like 100 miles or hitting a certain like amount of miles for the training block. And yeah, when I do my next 100 though, I'm going to take this whole block and shift it up about 10 miles, which I thought that the podcast here was going to have to like die down for a little bit after canyons, but I pretty much only have a couple weeks off, and then the pacing madness begins. And then after pacing, a bunch of awesome, incredible, epic races this summer. I'll pretty much start my block for Javelina in like June. So yeah, it's going to be, the podcast is not going anywhere. A couple of questions came in quick. Is there a permit required for in the rim? Only camp? No, there's no permits if you're going to do it. Permits are for like camping only. But if you're just going for it, no permits needed. Ultra Corey, what's up, buddy? Jacob Mooney in the house. Jacob, yeah, Bigfoot. That is on the list. Jacob got into Bigfoot. He, man, what number did you start on the waiting list? Let people know like how much you moved on that waiting list. But Jacob's got canyons, then he's got Bigfoot, and then Moab. So yeah, we're going out west. Let's do this. And hope you're feeling better. I told you there had to be a reason that I beat Jake in that race, and turns out he's dealing with like a stress fracture, so it's like, oh, I beat the guy by 2 minutes and he had a broken foot. So, like, good job, Brad. You can't take names. Wow. You were up there at 70th. Wow. I actually just put my name on the wait list for Crazy Mountains just to see what that wait list moves like. I'm going to Crazy Mountains already. I'm pacing Taylor, the guy that I'm doing rim to rim with. I'm going to pace and crew him, but I'm just curious to see. I think I'm 106 on that list right now. I'll see if that list actually moves. And I'm also pacing Jigger Johnson up in New Hampshire for my good buddy Ryan, who's pacing me at Canyons. So that race, mark my words, Jigger Johnson, it's going to be the hard rock of the East Coast. That race and that course is so brutal. And they just got brought on by Aravaipa and the White Mountain Endurance, that they've been doing that race, and they put on that race last year. That collab with Aravaipa, it's that race. Mark my words. Mark my words. That race is going to blow up. Yeah. And then Crazy Mountains. And then, going out to Bigfoot. And the awesome thing about Bigfoot for me too, selfishly, is as a school teacher, that's really the only 200 that I'll ever be able to do until I retire from teaching. So, maybe, after we crush with Jake, I'll have to sign up for it. Maybe I'll have to put my name in the hat, and maybe that'll be the big race for next year. One thing at a time. Let's get through the Grand Canyon this week. And then let's Grand Canyon to the canyons. And, God, man, I can't wait. It's just, I can't believe a week from now I'll be able to say that I've done it. I am bringing all the GoPros, all the Insta360s. I'm bringing everything. So we will definitely document it. This week I'll post videos on, like I said, full gear list, logistics, maps, everything. And then just treating it like a regular week, and hoping that these sniffles are just that nerves you get when you taper in and you're like, oh my God, I'm injured, but I'm not. So I'm like, I just got to go right into a 14-mile run tomorrow. Maybe it's just a rest day, just sitting around on a rest day, just thinking about like all the ways I shouldn't feel good. And what's up, Corey, man? Looking forward to you getting healthy again too, bud. And wish I could have seen you smash Mitchell, but glad you were disciplined enough to take care of your little niggles that you got going on, and take care of yourself. And oh, nice. Yes. What's up, Brett? Yeah, they you could tell them to check out my Instagram. I will tell you if there's snow, and I'll let you know exactly what the trail is, and where that update is, because coincidentally I didn't realize how many people actually do rim to rim to rim, or maybe it's just the people that I hang out around. But yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be updating. There's a couple of people that really want a good weather report. It's hard to find. The Grand Canyon's a big place. So the number one question I've been getting from people that are doing it in the near future are, hey, can you please let me know what the weather is like? And that's the question that I asked Jeff, and that's the questions that I asked Jesse. And that's, weather seems to be the great equalizer out there, because it can be so different. And I'm just going to have to carry enough clothing and stuff for everything from 30 degrees up to 80. But not only that, like coming down to 80, I'm going to sweat, right? And then I don't want wet, sweaty clothes going up into 30 the North Rim. So I'm almost going to have to do a little bit of a wardrobe change. Corey, we are going to be going back to the Grand Canyon. My wife is so jealous, and of course she was invited, but like she knows this is like, it's the boys' trip, and she, like I said, I mentioned earlier, like she knows how important this is to me to like meet these guys and give them the proper respect for inviting me along. But I know that she's going to make me plan a trip for us to go back, and I think there's been a bunch of people. I know even Jacob said that he wants to get to the rim to rim to rim. So this would be kind of like a test run, and then maybe we'll be able to get a nice little group together, plan it, and do it right. And not say we're doing it wrong, but I'm going in blind, so at least I'll have a little bit of knowledge. And I've heard that. Yep, that's what everyone's saying about the North Rim. And Rest Day Podcast road trip. It'll be a flight trip for me. I've driven cross country enough. I think my days of driving cross country are retired. They're far behind me after going to Colorado. I think that was 2 years ago. I drove to Colorado and back, and I think that was my last one. But we'll see, man. If the I know there's a bunch of people that want to do it, and I think I definitely want to try maybe like fall, not like fall coming up, but maybe the following fall. But then again, like if this thing's too epic, I'm gonna have to go back sooner. And maybe like a little bit, but I think this is a great time of year. It just worked out nice. And with my work schedule and things, as a teacher, I have so much time off already that I really can't take more time than I already have. So between this and planning for other trips, I mean, maybe I'll go back this year. If it's that good. I mean, flying to Phoenix is pretty affordable and getting up there, and maybe that would be like my pre-javelina. Like if I do this and then do really well canyons and feel like this helped me, maybe going into javelina, I'll have to go do it again. It'll be like my pre-100 ritual to go do rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. But yeah, save up some vacation days. Maybe we'll head out there, maybe like September or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Do you guys have any questions about like that trip? Anything about it, or even training? I don't know too much because, as I showed you, the coach has only given me schedule up and through. Oh man, the fact that the race is like on my training peaks, that just, oh my god, it made I just, oh my god. So yeah, so I only have up until the 7th. So after the 7th, I don't know what taper looks like. I don't even know what this peak week looks like. All this, but I did tell him. I left a note for him when he wrote, "This week is meant to be your peak week for the race." I said, "I'm ready for it. Let's go." So yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me. Unless you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them. Give me something to talk about. If not, I'm gonna finish up this glass of water and my non-alcoholic beer and hit the bed. Smashy Crashy, thank you so much. Yeah, let me put that up. That's actually good in case somebody's watching this in the playback. You won't need 2 liters down to Phantom Ranch if you want to go super light. Yeah, that's why I don't really have. I'm not a big like a reservoir guy. What do they call it? Do they call them reservoirs? What the things in the big water bottles in the back? That's generally not my style. I'll have my 50 milliliter flasks, and I probably, yeah, especially starting that early in the dark when it's cool, going down to the river. There's a pretty good chance I'll probably only have 2 of those filled, but and this is a bladder. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. What did I call it? A reservoir? Yeah, bladder. With that said, I know that there are going to be sections in canyons where I'm going to want to carry 4 of those. So as I mentioned, this being a really just a big training run, there's a chance I might carry the 2 liters with me just cause, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be overpacked, mostly because I want to know what it feels like. I want to know what the heaviest pack that I'll carry in canyons is going to feel like. So I'll definitely have like all of that food with me. I'll definitely have all of the mandatory gear for canyons, even if I don't think I'm going to need it in the Grand Canyon. I'll have all the mandatory kit on me. And Canyons doesn't have a really, really big mandatory kit list. And to think about it, I don't think there's anything on the kit list that I wouldn't need. Let me just see. I don't think there's anything on this list that I would not have on me for the Grand Canyon. Let's see what this is. So mandatory gear, minimum 1 liter. I'll have that. Reusable cup. I'll probably have that. Running pack for carrying supplies. Definitely going to have my 12 liter. Cell phone. Definitely going to have my cell phone. 2 working headlamps, but 1 can be in your drop bag. I'm just going to have my Phoenix. That's the one that I'm going to be carrying with me. Jacket with hood for bad weather. I'm definitely going to have my jacket. And I'll be running in my hat. All my nutrition, this would be more. Cell phone charger. I probably won't have my backup charger with me. ID and survival blanket. After Grindstone, I will never, ever, ever go anywhere without an extra large space blanket because that thing saved my life. Maybe it literally, but oh man, that freaking Stacy saved my life with that thing. Bladder. What's the temperature in the valley? I think 80s, they said, at Phantom Ranch. When I looked today, I was saying Friday's going to be 80. So yeah, if it's going to be, and the North Rim's 1,000 feet higher than the South Rim. So you definitely get, not only is it more north, but it's also higher in elevation. So I think I would expect, I'm expecting for anything, I'm not really expecting 20s. Um, and I really only care about the south rim because the north rim, if it's super cold, I'll just get in and out of there quick. But the south rim, like when we're getting ready in the morning and coming up maybe in the darkness back up out of there, I definitely am more worried about the temperature on the south rim. But from what I'm seeing, mid 30s up into like the high 30s, low 40s is what it's looking like on the south rim when it's dark out. And then, yeah, like 70s, 80s down at the bottom, but super windy, always a little bit of a wind tunnel down there. And then coming back up into the north rim, same like low 30s, but depends on how bright and sunny it is. We know that once you get in the shade, things can cool down instantly, especially in the high desert like that, where things get the air is not as humid, so it definitely will cool down quicker. But yeah, no, that's a great question. Freaking reservoir. What was I thinking? Reservoir. I'm trying to think of other things. Does anybody race canyons? Gee, I'm looking at this website now. We should don't look at that website, Brad. We got to get through the Grand Canyon first. Oh, so great question. I don't know like the history or the myths around this lemonade, but it is true. Every single video that I see, they talk about stopping for this magical lemonade. And I am going along for the ride, but I think just for the memes, I'm gonna definitely get a lemonade. If it depending on when we're there and when we're crossing through, I don't see how I don't know if it's just the memes, but I don't know how I can go there. And I mean, I'm a lemonade guy. I haven't had lemonade without vodka in it in 30 years, but yeah, I will give the Phantom Ranch lemonade. That's definitely going to work. Maybe on the way through, not so much. Maybe on the way back. Depends how we're feeling. I mean, we're going with some people that are super serious, and then some people that I think are going along for the journey. So maybe we can get those people that are more there for the journey, talk to ultra elite guys into slowing down a bit and maybe enjoying a little bit. This is another thing that I heard that I will be doing. If you bring a stamp, right, you got to bring your own stamp. But if you bring a stamp, you can send a postcard from Phantom Ranch out of there. So yeah, no, I definitely will have some stamps packed because I want to send a postcard. I'll probably send one to my kids or something like that, or I'll send some I'll bring a bunch of stamps and maybe I'll look in the DMs. I'll make a story like, hey, if you want a postcard from the Grand Canyon, just DM me your address. It'll be closed to start. It doesn't open till 8 a.m. We got a professional. Why are we not bringing you? You don't need to bring stamps anymore? Oh, that's good. That's good news. I'm going to have them anyway, just in case. But it opens at 8 a.m. Yeah. So if it opens at 8 a.m., we won't see it in the morning. We'll see it on the way back. I'm still bringing stamps, just in case. With my luck, I'll get there like, Smashy Crashy said I don't need to bring stamps. They'd be like, we're sold out. I'll be like, damn you, Smashy. Screwed me over. So yeah, I'm bringing them. Stamps aren't a lot to throw in the bag, All right, guys. All right. This will be the last time we speak about this Grand Canyon. Next week's episode is going to be called We Smashy Crashied the Grand Canyon. And yeah. That's really all I got, guys, unless you have a question inside the chat. Thank you so much for your love and your support. I appreciate it. And as I mentioned last week, thanks so much for the 1,000 subscribers. We got a super chat last week that covered the covered the amount for me to have StreamYard on here. And so this week was the first week that StreamYard was free. So thank you. I can forget who sent that super chat last week, but thank you so much for that super chat. I'll go back and look and I'll give you proper credit. But yeah, so thanks for the 1,000 subs as well. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out some of the videos this week, more on the trip. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I definitely appreciate you. And you make this rest day a lot more fun for me and give me something to do. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much.